first steps of the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
You've been good to me. You dry my tears when I cry.
The Urban was so fortunate to be the recipient of an Acts of the M&O Synod grant, a program of 32 weeks of trauma, grief, and loss sharing circles. This program consisted of co-ed circles every other Thursday before the evening meal, and a circle held every other Wednesday men's group.
And I married a guy from about
These trauma, grief, and loss sharing circles have really brought our urban community together.
The group idea was the safety place.
I was just looking across here and you were all smiling and joking about things, and this is a safe, welcoming place to be able to share that. You keep coming back.
I can't stress it enough, the sense of community that I feel. I get goosebumps when I sit in that circle. To listen to the community members share and how they've become friends that they can turn to and trust.
Everybody's honored by the rest of the circle listening. So that's where respect is communicated by people listening.
Our special advisor to the board, Vicky Cadagas, offers a smudging ceremony on the church steps before many of the Thursday circles. And it's really well received and appreciated by our urban community to have the smudging ceremonies.
When we light up the smudge, we start in the east direction. We bring the grandfathers from the east direction, the south direction, the west direction, and the north direction. We smudge for the two-legged and the four-legged. We use 4 kinds of medicines in the medicine bowl. When we smudge our eyes so that we see good things. When we smudge our mouth so that we speak good things. And when we smudge our ears so we hear good things. We smudge our heart so that we can love and have good things. We smudge our feet so we can walk in a good way. And we smudge behind us to remove the negativity that stands behind us.
You hit the drum 4 times. You're acknowledging 4 directions, 4 grandfathers, 4 grandmothers, the 4 races. Our drum is a circle, it's like the earth. Our lives will eventually come full circle when we live every day. That's what a drum represents. Life, honor, respect, and love.
Many in our urban community experienced abuses in residential schools, or their parents were residential school survivors. So many people have experienced trauma, grief, and loss in so many different ways.
There's some stories that are so painful, we really can't ask anybody to share it until they're ready, until they know they're in a safe place. Stories like a canoe trip. Picks you up someplace, takes you someplace, leaves you someplace, and says, now explore the rest of the way on your own.
We're all learning from each other through truly listening to each other.
They are getting more and more comfortable since Rhonda has started this sharing circle.
Before I used to be quiet and shy, I wouldn't talk to nobody, and the more I came out of my shadow.
I like coming here. Staff and volunteers are awesome. The food is great.
This truly is a safe place for them.
The circle itself is medicine. It's something that helps you to work through the thoughts and feelings of life, especially when you hear it from somebody else. You can relate to either the context or the feeling that they are expressing. It's like thinking through or feeling through something else.
No human being is without error. We make mistakes all the time. And as a pastor since 1989, I can tell you I made a lot of mistakes, and you kind of learn from them.
Men's group. We have a core group of about 15 to 18 men, ages 35 to 77, They come to the Urban every Wednesday for lunch.
People come in with a story. They each have their own story, and part of what we've been trying to do over the past 4 sessions or so is to get folks to share their stories.
They've become friends.
What I've learned to do as a facilitator is to simply tell my story unadorned and to share my own struggle. If I share the struggles of my life, it's like a magic key that opens up, and then they suddenly feel free and safe to share whatever they're struggling.
Every single time I came, you know how sometimes you have things to do in your life and you're like, oh my God, I gotta do that. I didn't feel like that coming here. I felt good all the time coming here. These guys are wise and I appreciate them. Like, I deeply feel that that's what they carry. Like, their lives have given them good experiences and they're waiting for people to be interested in that. But lots of people say things happen for a reason.
That began my healing journey. And as I went on this journey, safe people I can trust. One of the things that we need as we heal, as we do this recovery journey, is that we should have one relationship that's safe. For me, it was Rick, and all this journey of my healing.
Learning those hard lessons and just sharing that with people, it becomes more real to them. You know, they just say, well, he's been through that, or Linda's been through that. And today she was speaking about her own experience and how that impacted me.
It's that safe relationship and also a safe place that's very important in order for healing to begin to take place.
Builds community in the sense that I'm not alone, and then you are not alone, that we together are feeling these kinds of things together.
I will fly away, oh glory, I will fly away.
A typical Sunday, doors open at 1 p.m. with coffee and tea and something sweet to eat. We have a worship service at 1:30 with communion.
One God who forgives all our sin, whose mercy endures forever.
We also have pastors who volunteer to take over a service.
Desires known, and from whom no secrets are
The
hidden.
Urban is a ministry to the vulnerable, the marginalized, and the homeless in the inner city and the west end of
We
Winnipeg.
may perfectly love you.
We're a non-profit corporation in partnership with the Manitoba Northwestern Ontario Synod.
Amen.
Our day-to-day operations are supported by many individuals, congregations, and the Synod also. We couldn't feed the body as well as the spirit without our wonderful meal teams. I can't say enough about the meal teams that we have from congregations. We also have meal teams that are groups of friends that have heard about the Urban and they've got together once a year or 3 times a year or 6 times a year. They create a meal for 100 people because we're always having usually between 65 and 100 people at any given meal. We all receive as much as we give, and that goes for the staff, the volunteers, and the urban community alike.
For me to do something to help, I love helping people. I just want to do what I have to do to help, to make the world a better place.
I like coming here. It's good. Like I've been coming every Wednesday and Thursday, and it's good. I enjoy myself coming here.
I've been on the receiving end all my life, and
I do this every Sunday.
it's my turn to turn the tables around. The way I look at my life is to make others easier.
Under the G5252.
Our No Charge Family Bingo is a really great family evening once a month. It's the second Thursday after the evening meal, and everybody gets a prize, and even the kids play, and we have a great time.
Under I-19.
Does anybody know how to cut the top of a pepper?
Now that this program has formally ended, we've kept the circles going, and we've added a women's circle as well. The women really wanted to have a chance to get together themselves. That really came about after our crock pot cooking classes ended. They also shared an awful lot of stuff in the chopping and the mixing. Well, we always welcome more meal teams and volunteers who have life skills that they'd be willing to give a presentation to people at the Urban. Volunteers all have a wealth of experience from their own lives. Or just come and join one of our circles and get to know our urban community.
Been told you from the first, if you not understood, from the forming of the earth, he sits enthroned above the world and spreads the heavens like a tent, a place for all to live in, a place for all to live. And who has measured the heavens in the hollow of his hands, do you know? And who has marked off the heavens with the breath of his word, do you know? Oh, come forth, my people. Oh, come.